everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed your nice long weekend and enjoyed the beautiful weather. This week we're going to start multiplication. You can find your classwork on Google Classroom under classwork. I've organized it a little differently this week. I'm trying to just try some different things to see what works best. We're on week 3. September 7th through 11th, and I just made 2 topics. So you have a math topic for week 3, and you have a science topic for week 3. I tried to limit the number of topics so that you don't have to scroll down so much. And I tried to write the day of the week that the classwork is assigned for out beside it in parentheses. So we are going to start out on this Tuesday with a Jamboard. I want to know what you already know about multiplication. So take about 10 minutes, use sticky notes, images, text boxes, whichever you feel like you want to use, and just fill in that Jamboard with everything that you possibly remember about multiplication. And if the teacher in my room could just pause this video and let the kids work on this for, like I said, about 10 minutes, and then just come back. Okay, let's see how much you remember from 3rd grade. If you take a look at Miss Ross's multiplication jam, I have what I feel the most important thing you should remember is that multiplication means equal groups of, and this is the symbol that we use. You also learn that multiplication means rows, equal rows and columns, which form arrays. And I remember seeing your array cities outside of Miss Shelby's room last year. You remember skip counting songs? I see a lot of you using those skip counting songs and using your fingers to help you figure out multiplication facts. Did Miss Shelby read you some books about multiplication, like Amanda Bean's Amazing Dream or Minnie's Diner? When I think of multiplication, I think of rows such as eggs. That would be 2 rows of 6, which would give me a total of 12. And that actually reminded me of things that I left out, the vocabulary for multiplication. So product is my answer when I multiply, so I can add that sticky note. And then my factors are the numbers that I'm multiplying. So my factors would be like 2 and 6. So there's 2 more things. And you know what? I bet you guys thought of some things that I left out as well. And I might have gotten some things that you left out. So take the next maybe 5 to 10 minutes, look at my Jamboard, and add something that I have, or maybe more than one thing, hopefully, that you didn't get on your Jamboard. So that kind of sounded confusing. So open your Jamboard back up and add some sticky notes and images that you could take from my Jamboard to yours. Okay, so this year in 4th grade, we're going to think of multiplication as times. You've probably heard of multiplication being called times before, like your times tables, or you might say that this is 2 times 6. So I'm going to add a sticky note, one more, that says times as many. This is what we're going to be focusing on this week. What does that mean, times as many? Go ahead and turn to a neighbor or a partner and talk about what you think that means. If someone says, I have 3 times as many candy bars as my friend, or if you're complaining, Mom, my brother has 5 times more toys than I do, or someone says, well, I ate twice as much as you and I'm still hungry. So let's think about that. Turn and talk. What do you know about the words or the phrase times as many? Go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, I'm not there, but I can guess that you guys didn't talk very much about what times as many really means. So let's look at what that means. So if you see the number sentence or equation 2 multiplied by 5, in third grade you learned that this means 2 groups of 5 is the same value as blank. What's our product here? 2 groups of 5 has the same value as 10. Okay, or 2 times 5 equals 10. All right, the way we're going to think about this week is like I have written here. 2 times as many as 5 is blank. So when you get to the equal sign, we're going to say is. Okay, so try that with me. 2 times as many as 5 is 10. Oops. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so we would read this 6 times as many as 7 is blank. 6 times as many as 7 is, and we know that 6 times 7 is. Now, some of you are probably working so hard on trying to remember that song or skip counting. But this is a little rhyme that I taught my third graders when I taught third grade. Hurry up and tie your shoe. 6 times 7 is 42. Hurry up and tie your shoe. 6 times 7 is 42. And it just kind of sticks in your brain. So 6 times as many as 7 is 42. So I could write that numerically with numbers, or if I want to write it in a sentence, 6 times as many as 7 is 42. Let's look at it with the phrase first and then see if we can figure out the equation that matches it. 4 times as many as 7 is blank. How could we change this phrase to just numbers? So we're going to put this in a number sentence instead of a wordy sentence like this, because mathematicians like to shorten things up, make them short and sweet and quick to write, because usually mathematicians aren't very good writers. So how would we write this? Mathematically, with just numbers, we would say 4 times as many as 7 is what? What is 4 times 7? Well, I know 2 groups of 7 is 14. So 4 groups of 7 would just be double 14. I know 14 and 14 would make 28. So 4 times as many as 7 is 28. This is another way you might see it written with your product on the left and your factors on the right. It's the same thing. When you see the equal sign, you're going to say is. So 72 is 8 times as many as what? 72 is 8 times as many as what? So what are we missing here? We're missing a factor. So that means we can divide to find this missing number. So 8 times what will give me 72? If you know your facts, you should know that 8 times 9 is 72. So put that in there. And it's the same as before. You would just say 72 is, okay, 8 times as many as 9. Now, one thing else that you may see is you might see times as much. Many and much go hand in hand. 72 is 8 times as much as 9. That means if you count by 8s 9 times, that is 72. Okay, let's see if you can do this one independently. So how would you say this using the phrase times as many? Go ahead and tell your neighbor or someone close to you how we would say this using the phrase times as many. If you said 3 times as many as 7 is 21, then you've got it. Good job. The next thing I want you guys to do is to go back into your classwork to week 3 and click on the Ed Puzzle assignment for today, Tuesday. Put on your headphones and watch this video. It's about multiplicative reasoning, and that's exactly what I just talked to you about. Times as many, times as much. That's multiplicative, which sounds like multiplication, okay? And tomorrow when I get back, we're going to be doing some multiplicative comparisons where we'll be comparing amounts. Such as I said before, Jenny has 7 times as many marbles as Frank. We're comparing Jenny's marbles to the number of marbles Frank has. We're comparing them. They're not the same. They're different. How much different? So many times. Okay, so watch this Ed Puzzle video, and I hope you get all the answers correct. So take your time, watch slowly, and when you finish, Mrs. Clark or whoever's there will let you know what to do.